process of formation of the European Union political values encompass a long distance, and first of all, it's the elaboration of basic principles of the European Union. They are embedded in the legal framework of the European Union. First of all, it's actually the founding treaties of the European Union, and the most relevant at the moment is the Treaty of Lisbon, which actually stress the major political values of the European Union and values as a whole. So first it's elaboration of political values, then it's legal embedment, installation of these political values on the principle of adopting treaties or regulations which are valid for the European Union, and not only as supranational institution but also for the member states of the European Union, as well as different countries which have the partner cooperation with the European Union and try to set up different communications. So the third thing is actually promotion of the political values, and this third part is actually exerted on the principle of finding the new and binding political values, which help actually to make the European Union going, and which are shared by all the member states of the European Union. At the moment, there are certain problems concerning the elaboration of the joint political values due to the fact that political situation within the European Union is not a good one. But in the normal conditions, the European Union is really active in elaboration the new type of political values and try to formulate the new values. For instance, at the moment, the so-called digital agenda makes the European Union to elaborate the new type of political values which are bound to this new digital generation. These values are, for instance, so-called digital freedoms, and also open access to the internet, also the non-transfer of personal data and unanimity status, and all these freedoms and all these values are actually really important for the new generation and the generation to come. The major forms of formation of political values of European Union are strongly connected to the essence of the European Union as democratic supranational integration structure. So the major form is finding consensus between the member states of the European Union in elaboration or formation the new political values. If the new values correspond to the basic values of the European Union, such as democracy, freedom, human dignity, human rights, the rule of law, actually this helps to promote these new political values. If they contradict to the basic principles and some member states of the European Union are opposing to the idea of bringing in the new values which contradict to the essential ones, is this principle of consensus or anonymity of voting is actually really important in order not to destroy the spirit of the European Union and its identity as the whole political institution. So consensus culture and anonymity of voting are the major forms of adopting the new political values and also formulating the new political values. The second form, which is also an essential one, is dialogue between the supranational institutions and the national governments in order to find the common ground for promoting the new political values which can be valid not only on the supranational level but also can be valid on the national level. This dialogue between supranational institutions, European institutions, and the national governments is really essential due to the fact that this brings to the enrichment of political culture and political values of the European Union. The third form of formation of political values within the European Union is the initiative on the local level. So it's the initiatives which are brought by the people of the European Union, the populace of the member states, which can also exert their willingness to bring the new things into the set of values of the European Union and also to enrich the political culture of the European Union. So all the forms of formation of political values are actually really important for the European Union as a democratic integration structure, and then they also help to find their identity, to put the common identity of the European Union by selecting different really important ideas for the member states and bringing it as new political values and as the elements of political culture into reality. The major mechanisms or instruments of formation of political values within the European Union are the negotiations which are waged by the supranational institutions and the national governments, and the supranational institutions and the regional governments within the European Union. But also one of the most effective mechanisms of formation of European Union political values is the constant dialogue between the European Union and civil society within the European Union. At the moment, civil society is the major source of initiatives for the European Union, and the European Union tries also to have a good and effective dialogue with civil societies within the member states, which help to enrich the value base and also to bring the new political values as relevant for the European Union. Also, the mechanism of formation of political values is the activity of different NGOs and different European organizations, not only within the European Union but outside of the European Union. So by establishing the cooperation ties with the governments, NGOs, and so on, these structures, European structures which are acting outside the European Union, also are really helpful in finding the new ideas and also setting up the joint agendas and make some instruments, mechanisms going for elaboration of political values, which then can be transferred to the European Union level and be really effective in finding the new essence of the European Union as not only economic but also political institution. The major trends of formation of the European Union political values are not only the positive ones, but one also can single out the negative trends of formation of political values. But first, about the positive trends. They are strongly bound to the essence of the European Union, which is a democratic entity and which tries to promote actually the democracy and freedoms not only within the European Union, especially member states, but also outside the European Union. So this dialogue or consensus culture is really helpful in finding the solutions and finding the best decisions for the different issues which can occur within the European Union. The negative trend is actually the rise of so-called countercultural and cultural values, given the fact that at the moment Eurosceptical movements within the European Union in different member states are really strong, and they are making their way in promoting their opposite values within the European Union, based on the principle of disintegration and also autocracy, and also bringing their contribution to the demise of the European Union as an integration structure. At the moment, the trends within the development of political cultures of the European Union show that despite of the fact that the European Union is evolving as an integration structure, there are different visions of its development as integration structures by different member states, and this can contribute to the further development of political values within the European Union, and show it probably as the new type of integration structures which has different set of values. The major obstacles for the formation of European political values are strongly connected to the procedures within the European Union. European Union at the moment is not a really flexible structure which enables the formation of the new political values, which then can be shared by all the member states of the European Union. The second major obstacle for the formation of the new political values is actually that due to the democratic essence of the European Union, the political values which are not of democratic character, democratic essence, cannot be adopted by the European Union as integration structure and be transferred to the supranational level. So European Union tries to promote only the democratic political values, and non-democratic political values they are eradicated from the political culture of the European Union. The third major obstacle for the formation of new political cultures is the lack of ideas, new good ideas, which can lead to the formation of a new set of political values within the European Union. The fourth obstacle is actually the fear of certain member states to transfer their sovereignty and competences to the supranational level, and this hurdles the process of formation of political values of supranational region, and also make the transfer of political values from national to supranational level really heavy and really lengthy. The fifth obstacle of formation of political values within the European Union is also the unwillingness of supranational institutions such as European Commission and political parliament to develop itself and stick to the new trends and new movements within the European Union. For instance, if we take the situation with so-called digital generation, the European Parliament tries to enhance this agenda, but it takes some time, and political situation within the European Union is not at the moment so good in order to adopt the new questions, the new issues which can occur in different member states, and which can lead to the change of traditional agendas and traditional programs of political parties within the European Union.